Federal capital, we'll go to the Federal Capital Territory now, where the High Court there has ordered the Department of State Services to charge the suspended Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele to court within 1 week or release him. The court gave the order during hearing in the fundamental human rights suit Emefiele filed to challenge his arrest and detention by the Department of State Services. Emefiele has been in detention since his arrest on June 9th after President Tinubu suspended him and ordered a probe of the Apex Bank.
Continued detention is unlawful in the sense that no charge has been brought, and it is wrong for an organization of that nature to keep somebody in detention and be looking for evidence with which to charge him. So I think the judiciary is on the right track. 7 days have been given to the DSS to either charge him to court or release him on administrative bail. We expect him to be released on administrative bail today as we speak. We expect him to be released today in obedience of court order. I do not think that the president, who is a newly minted president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will like to start his administration with his organizations under him.
To discuss this now, we are joined by legal practitioner Inibehe Effiong. Thank you so much for joining us here, Inibehe.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Indeed. The DSS now has the ultimatum to charge the former Apex Bank governor to court or release him over the next 7 days. What is your take on the turn of events so far?
Well, I'm not surprised that the court has been invited to intervene in the matter. Emefiele was arrested. It's been over a month, to the best of my knowledge, since he was suspended. I would have thought that if the government has a case against him, they would have presented that before the court, that he would have been formally arraigned to enable him take his plea, possibly be released on bail, and then answer to the charges against him, because there's a conditional right of presumption of innocence.
Right.
But because the SSS has characteristically and historically been known for being deployed for political expeditions in the name of investigation, it is now beginning to look as if the intention for going after Emefiele was not necessarily to look at infractions they may have committed while in office, but to persecute or punish him, in quotes, for spearheading policies which were seen to be against the political ambition of Senator Bola Tinubu and of course his presidential candidacy.
So
if the government has,
I want us to push us. So I want to push us a bit forward. Like you rightly said, he's been in custody for over a month. How does this fly in the face of the law? His continuous detention.
No, it is illegal and unconstitutional. If you look at the provisions of the Constitution, Section 34, Section 35, and even Section 36 sub 5, a citizen is not supposed to be detained beyond 24 hours, and where a court has given an order for remand, that order is not supposed to subsist for such a prolonged period. But what is even important to some of us is the fact that Emefiele did not really run the CBN in a transparent and accountable manner. And we really want him to be held accountable. But when you now bungle the investigation and proceed in a manner that is not consistent with the rule of law, you would only have given credence to the belief that this is not really about whatever infractions or offenses Emefiele may have committed, but just to punish him, as I said, for spearheading certain policies and being partisan. If he has committed offenses, let him be taken before it and let him answer for it.
Right.
And not to continue to keep him, and then at the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. And we are tired of this nonsense, really, because we have seen the SSS being used over and over again in the same manner And at the end of the day, nothing comes out of it.
Indeed.
Nothing comes out of
I
it.
do want to ask you, though, about the 7 days ultimatum the court has given. Emefiele has already been in detention for over a month already. Isn't 7 days too long?
Well, I'm not going to question the decision of the learned judge. I believe the judge knew why he made that order bet. I would have thought that because they have already kept him for this period, the court could have, simply just ordered his release unconditionally or on certain conditions. Because now it is giving the state security service an option. Either you arraign him before the court, which is reasonable, or you release him on administrative bail. But I would have thought that they either just release him unconditionally or take him before a judge. Right? So I do not know why the SSS still has to impose bail conditions on him. But again, that is the decision of the judge, and we can
Indeed.
only judge.
Indeed. So let's talk about this ultimatum the DSS has. What are the implications, given the background of sometimes the political interference at the DSS that you have said? What are the implications if the DSS disobeys this court order?
The truth of the matter is that the SSS, more or less, is essentially a political tool for every occupant of Aso Rock. That is the that they have on their own. So, because the court has given them an ultimate it's a deadline, I expect compliance. If they do not comply with the order of the court, that will mean acting in contempt, and I will expect the court to take necessary actions against the Director General of the State Security Service. They have to comply, take him before a judge. We were hearing insinuations about, terrorism financing. If that is true, take him before a judge. If he misappropriated money, take him before a court. But I had said that the EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, should have been the one to investigate the matter. But since the government believes that this has to do with the security of the country, put out the facts.
Right.
Put out the charge. Let Nigerians know what Emefiele did. Let Nigerians know the terrorists that Emefiele gave money to. Otherwise, this would have just made another nonsense of key institutions of government.
Very well. Lawyer, I'm afraid we'd have to leave our conversation here, but thank you so much for this chat.
Thank you.
Inibehe, absolutely.